Folks, welcome to another edition in Real Estate Experts. As always, I'm your host, Glenn Twiddle, bringing you leading experts, communicators, authors, negotiation specialists from around the world and around the country in order to help you, the home seller, maximise top dollar if you're considering selling a property, like finding a good agent, presenting your home for sale, and truly getting the most money for your property. So today, I'm so honoured to be bringing you really what epitomises the word expert, and that's the husband and wife team of Paul and Gina Organzides. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Wow. So the first question I've really got is one that I ask a lot of my guests on Real Estate Experts, and that's, see, I know the people in your area have got an easy choice, right? They can choose you guys. Yep. But what about if someone was up in Brisbane or in Cairns or in Sydney or some other city where the choice isn't so obvious? What are some of the things, I suppose the criteria, that the viewers should be on the lookout for to try and find the Paul and Gina team of their area?
Yeah, I'd probably say one very observable thing that we pay attention to is how we present our properties when we're doing an open for inspection.
Right, so it's an open house on the weekend. Yeah. Okay.
Because that's the first point where a buyer can really fall in love with the property.
Everyone's been to an open house. How are yours different?
Sure.
So the viewer can know they're going through one that's good.
Yeah, so we do scented candles throughout the house, light up all the lights, we turn on the TVs, have music, but we go a bit beyond that too. We request shoes off with some of our properties.
Oh, yeah,
and
take
we
the shoes off, yeah.
Designed our own slippers, so people can feel really comfortable at home.
Yeah. Wow. And you guys, I've noticed, because I visited one of your opens, you guys have two people there. So it's yourself, Gina, is kind of meeting and greeting?
At the door, meet and greet.
Yeah.
Really try to create that rapport with them right at the door.
Nice.
And then Paul's in their house and he's, already onto them with the negotiations.
And you're renowned as a negotiator, mate. I know that, people come to you from around the country for advice on how to be as good a negotiator as you. Yeah. Tell us about, how do we know when we're there with a good negotiator versus, because all agents say they're a good negotiator. They've all got, they'll all tell, every agent in the country will say, I'll get you the highest price because I'm a great negotiator. Yeah. How do we know the ones that are truthful when they're saying that versus the ones that are just sort of all talk?
Yeah, we've heard from quite a lot of the buyers and friends and families that we deal with. One of the most, biggest questions that gives it away is most buyers just ask an agent how much they need to pay to buy the house.
Yeah.
They ask the agent how much the owners want. Who you probably don't want to sell with is the agent that gives that away, because the moment that you give away a seller's price, that's the moment that they'll never get anything above that price, or maybe
even that price.
They won't even get that price. Yeah. So if I said to you, well, how much do you think the owners will accept, Paul? What would be a good answer?
So the way we tackle that is, I see it pretty logical. If we're trying to negotiate and get the owner the best price, I would say something like, the owners are obviously hoping to get as much as possible, but what are you willing to pay?
Okay.
And I throw it back to the buyer.
Yep.
And then we basically break down the buyer's needs and just try and really dig in there and find out the most emotional points in that house for them, and then just try and get as much as we can for our sellers.
Yeah, okay. And Gina, I've heard you described as, because it's not always Paul that does the negotiating. I've heard you described as a smiling assassin.
Yeah.
Tell us about your unique perspective on the negotiating process and how you kind of love them into paying top dollar for their property.
I guess we both have different techniques. So Paul's more of the hard negotiator, mainly deals with men, whereas I think when they're more female, single women, with children on their own, I think they find it a lot more comfortable to come to me and negotiate. So I guess I have a more of a softer approach,
and yet sometimes that soft approach, still gets top dollar for your sellers.
I sold the one recently. I did. For
Nice.
the price. So it's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what should if someone comes to you guys, what's your follow, and the reason I'm asking what your follow-up procedures are is I want to know what the viewers should expect from a good team as opposed to someone who's obviously just ignoring their buyers. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it, Gina?
Definitely not. I think that's one of the good things about having two people is that we can answer all inquiries and get back to them right away.
Yeah.
So at the door, I'll get their name, obviously number and email address. And before they've even stepped back into their car to drive away, we've sent them a text with a link to the property on our database.
Right.
And they can actually click if they're interested or not and actually download the Section 32 almost immediately after seeing the property.
Right, so that's the paperwork and things.
So that's
It's
the
not always
initial
called that. I've got viewers across the world that wouldn't know what a Section 32 is. But the paperwork and the contract and things like that. Wow,
So
nice.
that way, that already groups them into not interested, interested.
Yeah.
And then we're obviously on the phone with the interested people right away.
Wow.
And then the not interested will call back,
Wow.
Yeah,
so,
so-
you're truly leaving no stone unturned,
No,
yeah?
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so we get quite a few people at our open for inspections. There could be anywhere between 40 or 50 groups through one open.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've developed a system where we can communicate with everyone and we don't miss
Yeah.
anyone.
Wow. You don't know which of those 40 or 50 is going to be the one person
Yeah.
That's
that
right.
pays top dollar. I love that because, I mean, truly your marketing must be off the chart to drive that amount of people into
Yeah.
your properties. Well, I'm going to hit you up about that in a moment, but do go on.
Yeah, I think the most important part with that text message is not only they can get all the paperwork for the property, it's already there, but also there's a link to the website with photos and floor plans. They can share that to their friends and family and get different opinions.
Nice.
Yep, so
Yeah.
that way when they come to make an offer, they know that they've got their family behind them as well.
Wow. I suppose really that leads to this question that a lot of my viewers come to me, is that there are agents out there, some of which are charging the better part of a year's salary for their fee, and some agents that look like they're almost going to work for me for nothing in order to sell my house for free almost, and everywhere in between. Like, and I know you guys aren't the most expensive in the marketplace, and I know you guys aren't the cheapest. You guys are kind of charging a fair fee.
Yeah.
But give us your unique take on how my viewers can find an agent and get the best value from their agent. Like, should they be paying a lot, a little, nothing?
Yeah.
Give us your take on that.
There are always going to be discount agents out there. I guess the number one question I'd be asking is if that was a very successful agent running a successful business, helping a lot of people, would there really be a need to be a discount agent? So that would probably send alarm bells to me. At the same time, I'm not saying go with the most expensive agent because again, they just might be overpricing for what they give. We work with a fee that we feel is very competitive in the market in regards to what our competitors are charging. I'm a very big numbers person, so I look at numbers a lot. I've been tracking our sales compared to our competitors' sales, and we've got a proven track record. We do achieve about 10% more than the average.
Wow.
Yeah, of what is expected. So we've got that. So we've come up with a fee that we think is very competitive as well. But at the same time, we put it back in the client's hands. So we have a fee that we know that we're worth, but at the same time, we will back our fee 100%. So
What does that mean?
we give all our clients 100% money back guarantee. So basically, our service can only be proven after it's done.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
So if we go through the whole process, we sell a property and the client feels that they haven't received the service that they would have hoped for, the price, or we haven't returned phone calls or anything like that, turned up late, we will actually invite them to tell us what fee they're comfortable in paying.
Wow. So it's almost like, I mean, I've rarely heard of that. I can't remember a time I've ever heard of an agent offering that. So you're not really charging your fee till the end.
Yeah.
Now, all that negotiation's going on at the end.
We don't get paid till the very end.
Wow. So it's almost like, I mean, you really are taking that pressure that, you're taking that weight off their shoulders and you're strapping it firmly on yours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
And that's our commitment to perform and keep our promise from the beginning. Because
Wow.
now our fee's on the line.
Yeah.
But it's not all about the money. It's about building a family of clients that love to deal with us. So at the end of the day, we don't chase the dollar. I mean, it keeps us going.
Yep.
But we love it when family are so impressed. They just refer us to their family and friends and all that. So
We love helping people. It's all about the people for us.
So the next question that kind of leads to is really, and it's almost inspired by your book, in the Advanced Guide to Selling Your Home, is there's something that you mentioned in there that happens so often it's even got a name, which surprised me. And I believe you called it buying the listing. Tell us about what buying the listing is that some agents are known to have done, and why that's a bad idea, that you've described it as one of the worst mistakes a home seller could make and costing them thousands of dollars, and you've seen it happen so often. Give us a short back and sides on what that's all about.
yeah. What some agents might do is they'll come in and promise a price of what the property might sell for. That's something we would never do. Because what we always say, it's not about us promising a price, it's about the process that we'll put behind the sale to get you that price. So at the moment, no one knows exactly how much their house is going to sell for. What most agents do is they go in there and give a price that you think they might be happy. You might be happy with taking, just to secure your business.
Right. So tell us what, of course, if I've got a house that's $500,000 and some agent promises, with confidence tells me it's worth 6, you've got it wrong, Glenn. You think 500, it's actually worth 600 and I can get it for you. Mate, I'm going to be tempted to believe them. So tell me why that's a bad thing. Shouldn't I be aiming for the highest price possible?
Yeah, so what usually happens is, unless you've got the type of house that is shaped like a UFO on the top of a mountain, which is probably pretty unique, most of us have a house that is very comparable in the suburb that we live in. So what we always encourage is make sure you are shown comparable sales. And that will give you what we call the market value. But again, what you don't want to do is sell for market value, because market value is what your house is worth every day of the week. You could really sell it yourself without paying an agent.
Yeah, okay.
Put a sign up yourself and just get market value. So what you want a skilled marketer and negotiator to do for you is identify the market value and then pitch it to the right people that will then create the record price.
The competition.
Wow.
The competition.
Yeah, like you mentioned that. Well, let's talk about that, because I see the results in your business very clearly. When 40 people come and 5 of those 40 fall in love with the place, that's where you guys get those record prices, But tell us about the marketing that results in that. Like, how do you guys get, in some cases, 10 times the amount of people to fall in love with homes than an average agent that's sitting on the market and the thing's not selling for 6 months? Gina, what are you guys doing in the marketing space?
We want to make sure everyone sees the property. So we target everything from newspaper to internet, including a premier highlight on realestate.com and other websites.
Yeah.
Videos, we do a lot of things to get everyone to see the property.
Wow. That sounds like it's going to...
And priced well, of course.
Yeah, and again, I'm asking on behalf of the viewers here. It sounds like, is that going to cost me an arm and a leg? Because I've seen some of your marketing, and literally it does look like Apple have decided to market this, or a big brand, because it's high quality stuff. Is that going to cost me tens of thousands of dollars to get these things marketed correctly?
It's actually a lot cheaper than what it sounds. This is for us in our business, being a big company. We order in bulk, so we get very cheap prices of most of the products. But at the same time, I don't see marketing as a cost. I see it as an investment, because you could really use that to amplify your sale price. So I often say it might actually cost you more by trying to save money on the marketing.
Well, if you don't have those 40 people in there fighting to own the place, how much might that cost? Wow.
And you can't put a number on that.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah, okay. And so what... you mentioned video before, and I know you guys are leading the way with using video in your marketing. Tell us about how that fits into the overall marketing strategy and what that does to, is it necessary, or, tell us about, because it's relatively new in the real estate space, isn't it?
We find that when we use the video, we almost get double the amount of buyers through our open.
Wow.
So I guess when they're at home and they watch the video, I don't know, they're more comfortable and they see it 3 or 4 times. So maybe they've already developed a bit of an emotional connection. So just
to the home.
Yeah. So it just ensures that they come to our open on the Saturday, not anybody else's as well.
Yeah, okay.
So we track them all that way. And then when they're there at the house, it's almost like they're watching it for the second time. They're seeing it a second time.
Right.
And that's where the magic really happens, because then we can talk about offers. And
Is the real secret with your guys' record prices that you seem to get every listing, is that secret truly in the overall system, or is there any one component that you see as the key? To me, having 40 people, having a marketing system that gets 10 times the buyers into it, that to me seems like that's the key. But is it just that, or is it more? Give us your take overall on what my viewer should be looking for to find that agent that can accomplish what seems like a miracle.
We always call it the 3 Ps. So in terms of what they're in control of, is price, presentation, and promotion. So basically, obviously the price is going to come from the agent, and I'd recommend getting at least 2 or 3 agents out, so that way you feel a bit more comfortable with where you're sitting. The presentation, just try and make sure your home is very neutral, presentable, because you never know what type of buyer the buyer that will pay the most will be. So we try not to sell properties like the sellers are selling it. We try to sell a property as if everyone's buying it.
Yep.
And then promotion, try and have your property in a lot of media, so basically, so it's out there for everyone to be seen, because you can't sell a secret. And in terms of what the agent that they're looking for, I'd say go with your gut feel, because usually when you feel it's right, it usually is.
You mentioned the 3 Ps, and I know that's something in the advanced guide book. Let me hit you up. I'm going to hit you up for a copy of the book. We'll put the URL up there. I know you're selling it on Amazon, and you're getting great. It's a bestseller.
Yep.
But let's, just for the viewers, we'll hit you up for a copy. That's cool?
All right,
yeah,
nice.
great. All right, we'll throw that up there. Because they can get more information on some of the simple things that you've seen people make. Tell us a little bit about the book, what's in it, and why you felt it necessary to kind of, put some of these tips into a book.
I just find that for us agents that sell properties every day, it comes to us quite normal, because we help so many people move. It sort of becomes like a process that we repeat. But we have to keep reminding ourselves that for the client that's actually moving, they might not do it for 5, 10, 20 years.
Yes.
So there's actually quite a few questions that might make them a bit nervous. The book dives into complete detail about every single thing they need to know about the whole process. So how, selecting an agent, presenting a home, negotiating, and all that. Yeah.
One of the things, Gina, I noticed in there, and I bet you this is your handiwork because you both wrote the thing, but is the staging kind of part of the stuff that's your specialty?
Yeah.
So tell us about presenting the home.
With presentation, I guess that's more of a feminine touch. So I do I speak a lot about that.
Yeah, cool. I'll attest to that.
One of the main things we spoke about was removing a lot of the family photos and a lot of the personal belongings.
Okay.
That way making it a lot easier for buyers to see themselves in the home.
Right.
And I guess that makes negotiations a lot more easier as well.
Yeah, well, it's almost like you're getting them to buy it, and then it's just a case of who's now going to win in the negotiating. So, guys, is there anything I've missed that the viewers should know, that you really feel they need to know if they're about to choose an agent, present their home, and maximise top dollar for their property?
Yeah, I think it would be a really good idea to ask your agent whether they invest any of their money into, improving their skills and negotiation skills.
Right.
Do they do regular training? Because I know Paul and I invest a lot of our money into seeking great coaches, not just business, but life as well.
Well, recently you guys were hanging out with Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the biggest property investors in the world. So very cool.
I think that plays a major role in their skills.
Yep, absolutely. Well, you guys invest a fortune in honing what you make to your consumers out there. You make it look easy, but truly that was a result of literally hundreds and even thousands of hours of honing those skills, isn't it?
My business really started to excel, and my personal experience in terms of how professional I was really started to develop once I invested in personal development and all that. Unfortunately, real estate's one of those industries where it's very easy to get into. These days you can do a 24-hour course and be a real estate agent and sell a house.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of our competition are still at that level, and that's why our industry doesn't have the name that it really should have. I guess that's a great question of what have they done outside of just their first certificate to sell real estate. There are other advanced courses that they can do, for example, being a licensed agent or being an accredited auctioneer or anything like that. So we do try and keep our knowledge and negotiating skills up to scratch every year.
And I love how you've got agents from around the country now coming asking you guys for advice. So you're not only learning from the best negotiators and experts on the planet, you also now are giving back to that community by helping others in our industry. Credit to you guys, so very nice. Well, I really hope that's been helpful for the viewers to find, the Paul and Gina Organzides team of their area. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Much appreciated. Folks, that's another episode of Real Estate Experts in the Can. Today I've been honoured to be hosted with Paul and Gina Organzides. You've got to get a copy of their book that they've generously offered for you. Until next time, bye for now.